Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm not going to read through the full article, although there is a link in the description. I'm going to give you a pretty thorough overview of the topic as to why we're looking at this case at this point. There's a link in the description, as I mentioned, and if you do appreciate the coverage of this topic, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. This is a case which I'm likely to follow up on. As things progress, I'll probably end up making multiple videos in regards to this topic. So if it is of interest, please do subscribe and stay tuned, etc. But it's in regards to the updates in regards to the case of the gentleman that you see in front of you, whose name is Uati Pele Faletolu, and he was killed. He was stabbed to death April the 11th earlier this year whilst he was working at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Very quickly, the Sydney Royal Easter Show is an annual event. All of the major cities in Australia, I believe, have a Royal Easter Show, and it's a wonderful occasion. It goes for a couple of weeks, I believe, and I've been there several times to the Sydney one over various years. Very much a family event, and it's chock full of activities, chock full of exhibitions and such. So the Royal Easter shows will have a rural element. Farmers from the states will come to the fair, and they will show off their largest pumpkins and their best livestock. There'll be dog competitions. There'll be chook competitions. It's kind of wonderful from that side of things. It's very important. It's a very important means to educate people and to remind people that hey, look, Australia is dependent on agriculture. If it wasn't for your farmers, we'd all be, pardon me, fucked. But that's not the whole focus of the Royal Easter Show. There's a lot of fun to be had. You buy show bags for $10, $15, however much they cost nowadays, and they'll be full of knickknacks, junk candy, but somehow they just seem such good value. And they had rodeos and things like this. They have rodeos, and also they have fairs, fairground rides, amusement park rides. And young Uati Pele Faletolu was working that evening, April the 11th, at one of the rides. The specific one was called the breakdance ride. There was a big fight. Now, I've not looked into the full details of the case for a few months, but if I recall correctly, there was a big fight really from rival gangs from different suburbs within Sydney that associate with the suburb that they grew up in, that they lived in. They go by postcode. It's really fucking pathetic. Sorry, guys, but it is. There was a big fight between dozens of people, or rather, dozens of people were there to witness it and to, to cheer it on, as it were. But tragically, young 17-year-old Uati Pele Faletolu was stabbed, and he subsequently died. Now, he was an expectant father. As I say, I've not looked into the full details concerning the case for a few months, but if I recall correctly, he had been informed by his girlfriend, fairly recently, a little bit before his death, a few weeks perhaps, something along those lines. I believe he was informed by his girlfriend that she was pregnant, that they were due to have a baby. If I recall correctly, he was ecstatic about that. He was keen to become a father and a contributing member to society. He was working. He's 17 years of age. He's not at home smoking joints. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but this evening he was at work, trying to do the best to prepare for his child. There was a fight. He was stabbed. He subsequently died. Now, the police have said that it's taken a while for progress to be made, largely because anyone involved in the incident, and as I say, there were dozens of people there. There would have been hundreds or thousands of people walking around the area at the time of this big fight, and many of those would have been families with children that would have witnessed this whole incident. But police have said that witnesses are being very reluctant to provide any information, that the investigation has stalled for that reason. But however, they have made a significant breakthrough, or indeed breakthroughs. They've arrested three people. Three people have been charged with murder. One is an 18-year-old that was arrested in Sydney last Saturday. He was charged with murder. We don't know his name. A second 18-year-old man was arrested from a different part of Sydney on Wednesday, so a few days later. He's also been charged with murder. And then a couple of days later, a 14-year-old boy was arrested in, again, another part of Sydney, and the 14-year-old also has been charged with murder. Three charged with murder, two 18 years of age, one 14 years of age, all male. I find it a little bit interesting that the arrests, the charges were made, I can't think of the right word, but in steps, in stages. So they arrest the first guy, then a couple of days later, a few days later, they arrest the second guy. Does that indicate that the first guy was able to provide evidence which allowed the authorities to be comfortable in making an arrest of the second guy? And again, subsequently, a couple of days after the second guy's arrested, they make their third arrest. So I'm thinking, speculation on my part, that perhaps the two 18-year-olds, perhaps they confessed to some extent, or they provided certain information, they ratted people out, however we're going to describe it, but they provided information to the police which gave them the ability to make the subsequent arrest. But either way, two 18-year-olds have been arrested and charged with murder of Uati Faletolu, and also a 14-year-old boy is also charged with murder. So that's great news, and we really do hope that the investigation continues to make progress, that witnesses do come forward, that they are able to get a conviction to show some justice for young Pele, which is his nickname. Now, as I mentioned, I am going to I'm going to cover this case as more details come forward as the case progresses. I am intending on making further videos in regards to this as things progress. I do cover a lot of different topics. Some topics are more touching to myself on a personal level than others, for whatever reason. And in this case, this one does touch me for a couple of different reasons. Perhaps because I live in Sydney, perhaps because I've been to the Sydney Royal Easter Show several times, because I value the Sydney Royal Easter Show. I think it offers something wonderful to the community, and I think that is in the midst of being thrown away. Whatever it is, the wholesomeness that blossoms within the Sydney Royal Easter Show is at risk of being destroyed, and that would be a huge loss to Sydney. And it's much the same with the other cities that have their Royal Easter Shows. We really do need to protect them. To me, my opinion, they're one of the very few community events that just has that family aspect there, that real wholesomeness, the educational aspect of the whole exposure to the agriculture side of things. That's important. That really is important. Having having a family event with such variety, rodeos, fairground rides, show bags. It's really a wonderful event, the Sydney Royal Easter Show, and to see it, I'm going to say sullied, see it marred by gang fights, by murders. It's doing way too much damage. Now, I don't wish to detract too much from the individual, from Pele. It's tragic his life was taken, but if we do a little bit of a zoom out, this is a very important subject, and perhaps that's why it touches me a little. Another reason why it touches me a little is because I value this young man. I don't know him, of course, but we're told that he is 17 years of age, a happy, expectant father, going to work. I respect that from a young person. Not all kids, not all young people have the wherewithal to go out to work, to earn a living, to try to start their life as a responsible adult. So I respect that. And another aspect is what I'm showing you here. That's a picture of Pele Uate's brother. Now, initially, from initial reports, he was somewhat framed as being the person who had stabbed Uati. He was framed as such. I made the initial video that I made on this subject was pointing to this 15-year-old boy who is Uate's brother as being the suspect. It was quickly pointed out to me by many commenters within the comment section that the information I was portraying was incorrect. And lo and behold, there were further articles that came out which corrected the details. But I feel a little bit guilty in my part of misrepresenting Uate's brother's involvement. So to be clear, Uate's brother was in no way, shape or form responsible for the stabbing and subsequent death of his brother. But the media did portray him as being the prime suspect in the first instance. And I feel very, very sorry for that 15-year-old brother. You know, he's witnessed, he was there, he saw his brother be stabbed. I mean, that's dreadful. That's absolutely horrendous. And then on top of that, you know, he's been portrayed within the media as being the prime suspect. So absolutely devastating. So I feel for the family. I feel for the brother. I feel for the family. So, you know, for whatever that's worth, those are probably the reasons why I'm going to continue to keep an eye on this topic. And as things progress, as new articles come out, I'm very likely to cover them. Indeed, if you see new articles, new information in regards to the case, and if I haven't made a video, feel free to make a comment, pointing me in the right direction, you know, give me a nudge or such. But I'm going to wrap things up at this point, guys. If I've done a half decent job, hopefully I have. I am trying to be very respectful in regards to this situation. But if you think I've done a half decent job, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit, and take care.